do not try to sell this on me. In fact, just don't even tell me about it. Just roll it out and keep us in the dark because it is crazy. It's a crazy idea. Yesterday at said press conference, and we'll dive into more of it at 1 o'clock, Brown was asked about the possibility of Jose Altuve playing left field.
For the most part, it would be with an addition. But look, if we put him in left and he starts to work out there and it looks good, it may give us some flexibility and versatility in our lineup. But initially, I would say, look, if we have a chance to make some additions, it's nice to see what he looks like in left field.
This led to an article by Chandler Rome in The Athletic and an article by Matt Kawahara in the Houston Chronicle, both of them saying Altuve could split time between second base and left field in 2025. Jose Altuve will see time in left field regardless if Alex Bregman returns or not. And yet, Joe, I hear that clip. I hear Dana Brown trying to sell this to us. And in that quote, he says, if he looks good, it may be something that works out for us. Do not try to sell this on me. In fact, just don't even tell me about it. Just roll it out and keep us in the dark because it is crazy. It's a crazy idea. It's a crazy idea that because you wanted to get underneath the luxury tax threshold so badly, you moved on from Kyle Tucker before you needed to. Yeah, I get it. You might not have gotten anything in return for him after this contract expired. You weren't going to bring him back. But right now, everything you're doing reeks of cheap. And yeah, playing a 5'7" dude in left field who's a terrible second baseman right now as it is, not a good idea.
I'm starting to think that this is their plan. And it came to fruition in a way that they were not expecting. That Alex Bregman still being on the market allowed them to put this out there about the idea of Jose Altuve moving to left field. We know what the metrics say. He's not a good second baseman anymore. It is falling off a cliff. It is rapidly deteriorating. And left field is kind of like where you would hide someone. And when you think about like the math of the roster in the long term, like let's just assume like Cam Smith or Bryce Matthews, let's say they both hit. Where are they playing? Like where are they playing? You got Paredes at third, you got Walker at first, you got Pena at short. Like one of them's going to play. Like, are they going to play left and right field, or is one of them going to be your second baseman of the future because Jose Altuve is your left fielder? And like that's kind of what I'm wondering if like this whole thing, like this is something that they've been thinking about. This is something they've been talking to Jose Altuve about, and the idea of Bregman coming back this year is accelerating that timeline of him being in left field, because the idea that now that they're like, oh well, like he's going to see time in left, and if it looks good, you might see more time in left. That to me makes me feel like this is not something that's just like, oh, in the last 5 days has just become a thing in the Astros organization.
There wouldn't be detailed articles written by both of those writers based off of just a quote.
Yeah.
There's definitely other conversations that those two are having that led to all the details in those pieces, which I encourage you to read. And I just think it's crazy. That's all I can really think of it. I don't even really care, Joe, about the configurations that you're outlining. I know some of the baseball diehards do care about that, but to me, like, it's not fun to play musical chairs like this. He's 5'7", and I just don't see how somebody who probably has limited range is going to make an effective left fielder when his arm is also not very good either.
No, it is hard to envision like how it works, and you're basically saying like the Astros are going to have a bad left fielder, and maybe their nerds are basically, what I hear is like they're saying it's better to have a bad left fielder than to have a bad second baseman. Like maybe like that's what their whole thought process is, and maybe he's not out there all the time, but you would just. They clearly, like, they're going to move forward with this, with or without Bregman. And Polanco might be a stopgap there at second if they bring him in and they're waiting for these young guys to come up and really fill that role. And this is like the one The only negative to Yordan Alvarez, and it always was, is that you knew, it was very obvious that Altuve or someone, specifically Altuve, because of how long he's under contract for, was going to fall off defensively. And because you can't put Yordan Alvarez in left field, the DH position that you're given in the lineup is taken. He's your DH. Because the most logical thing besides this is just putting Yordan in left and making Altuve your DH. But they don't want to do that either. Like, Dana Brown's already gone on record multiple times this offseason and in the past that he basically does not want Yordan Alvarez in left field at all. Because that's way more logical. Just say Yordan in left, Altuve at DH. For whatever reason, they seem to trust Altuve more in left, or like the idea of Altuve in left more than Alvarez in left. It's strange, but I think he's going to be out there most of spring training.
I mean, I don't even like that.
I know.
I want Altuve to do almost nothing during spring training. The spring is when Altuve can get hurt, like that one time in the World Baseball Classic.
Yes. Was that last year? Was that 2 years ago?
I think it was going into the 2023 season.
You're right. Yeah, no, there's way more opportunity for him to get hurt. You know, he can't run into the Crawford boxes when he's at second base. He obviously can now. I don't want to see Jose Altuve diving to try to catch a lazy pop-up that he's chasing down. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see him into that weird, like, little, nook into the outfield. I don't want him around that.
The best solutions for the outfield are players that you are terrified of ever getting injured via the weirdest of things or the simplest of things, running. Yordan Alvarez and Jose Altuve. Oh, I don't know if we can put them in the outfield because if they run, who knows what happens. They're getting up there in age, Altuve. I don't know how old Yordan Alvarez is. Said somebody, not me. It's one of those things where it's funny, but the plan reeks of desperation with the way that they are pushing and trying to sell Altuve in left field right now. And to be honest, it annoys me.
No, I understand why it does, but unfortunately, I think it's just our reality now. Because originally it really felt like it was only tied to Bregman. But then for Dana Brown to double down in that press conference, it's just like, this isn't a Bregman thing. This is just what they think might be best for the franchise thing.
It's just a Bagwell and Biggio thing. I asked that because on the text line from the 409, hey, Biggio made the transition. Debatable. I saw a highlight of Biggio trying to track down a ball in left field. It did not go so well. That's not to say that's a reflection of every single moment of him playing in left field, but I do wonder about the Skull and Bones Letterman Jacket Society, which, okay, Reggie Jackson might be out, but Jeff Bagwell, he's still around. Craig Biggio, I'm assuming he's still around.
He's involved. And just be like, well, I did it. Why can't Jose do it?
Yeah, you do. Also, you mentioned that we thought this was just for a Bregman move, and now it's like, actually, it's really just a thing they're planning to do. It's a lot of free good publicity for Jose Altuve to be like, I will do whatever it takes for Alex Bregman to come back. I will move off my position for Alex Bregman to come back. And then turns out it's like, or if they sign Jorge Polanco, I'll also move to left field.
Because and even like the Craig Biggio comp it doesn't really work, because if you look back, in 1990, he caught 113 games, and he played 50 games in the outfield that year. He played 50 games at left field and center. So when he went back to the outfield in 2003 and 2004, like, he had at least done it before, and he had transitioned from catcher to second base. Jose Altuve has only ever played second base. Like, he is doing something that he's never, ever done. I am 5'6". I have been short my entire life. Growing up and playing baseball, I always played second base. The shortest player always plays second base. I don't think
that's heightsist. Never thought about that.
It always just feels like that's the way it is.
Wow.
Like, Jose Altuve, I don't know if he's ever played in the outfield in his life, like in competitive baseball. Where Craig Biggio, at least he played in the pros in the outfield, like before he made a full-time change.
Before he was forced to shift
for 2 years.
Okay,
but like, Altuve is he's the GOAT teammate.
Yeah, glass half full Wednesday, the Astros are helping Jose Altuve's Hall of Fame candidacy. Altuve will do anything to win.
I mean, if he gets a Gold Glove in left field.
Yeah, I was going to say it probably helps his WAR if he's not kicking a ball around second base.
Or getting just thrown out on routine base running errors. He used to be such a good base runner. I don't know what the hell happened.